Hi everybody. I'm excited to practice with you today. I'd love to start with just a moment of gratitude. So if you can bring those hands to your heart, close down those eyes, and take a moment to bring into your heart something that you're grateful for. It can be something as simple as the sun and the warmth of the sun on the skin, the sound of the birds chirping, or imagining a loved one that you care so dearly about, an opportunity that's come, a beautiful glass of tea that you just enjoyed. Whatever it is, bring it into the heart and feel that gratitude in your entire being, your entire body. And recognize that the more often we practice gratitude, the more we have to be grateful for, because we begin to recognize all of the little things, the medium things, and the big things in our lives that are worthy of gratitude. All of the blessings that we have that if we don't slow down and notice them, they may just pass us by. So I encourage you to take time each day, multiple times a day, to move into a place of gratitude and recognition of the blessings in your life. If you're ever feeling frustrated, confused, lost, sad, angry, any of those emotions that are strong and at times do not serve us in the moment, come back to gratitude. Come back to a practice of recognizing. And notice how quickly it shifts how you're feeling, how you're thinking, and how you are being in your world. And doing our best to carry this feeling through the short practice that we're going to share together. So release the hands to the knees for a moment. And let's come back to really finding a place of alignment in this pose. So let's move that excess flesh from those sit bones. Really rooting below. Taking whatever comfortable seat feels good for you. So right now I'm in a half lotus. So if you want to go with your legs crossed, one in front of the other, however feels good for you. Our next inhale is going to inhale that spine up nice and tall. The inhale following is going to inhale those shoulders up and down the back. And we're going to move slowly and gently this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are. And just enjoy a gentle seated practice together. So bring awareness to your breath and start to deepen that breath. And as you pay attention to the breath, pay attention to the sensations in the body as well. And recognize that this breath, that these sensations, and that this moment is always available to us if we choose to tune into them. Beautiful. Let's take these hands and set them on the earth in front of us. We're going to walk those fingertips out, keeping that spine nice and extended. This is going to let us come into those hips. So for some of you, you might need to stay up a little bit higher to keep the length in the spine, and that's completely okay. Some of you guys might have the space to go in a little bit deeper here. Do your best to keep the sit bones rooted, to stay with that beautiful breath, and to continue to carry that feeling that you cultivated in your body as you focused on gratitude this morning. And release the neck. Maybe find some gentle movement, side to side, up and down, circles, just in that neck. And we're going to take these hands and we're going to walk them over to the right now. And if it feels right, you can take this left hand and actually set it on top of the right hand here like this. And you're going to come into that left side a little bit deeper. Make sure you're not lifting up here on the left sit bone though to find that space. If you need to come out a little bit, feel free. And just breathe into the left side of the body, into the space that you're creating. A nice steady breath. Doing your best to stay in this moment. We often have very active minds and thoughts are coming in from out of nowhere, it feels and seems. So if you have that experience right now, just let those thoughts pass through and pass away as quickly as they can. And return to the breath, and that breath will keep you in this moment. If you feel your body creating more space, you can walk those arms out a little bit further. And then slowly we're going to walk those hands back through center. We're going to come back up here. And we're going to switch these feet. So whatever foot you have in front or on top, switching those out. So that we can bring balance in the body and balance as we open those hips. I'm going to return to that nice straight spine once again. And then those fingertips are going to walk in front of us as we lengthen that spine forward. And we come back into that hip on the other side now. Beautiful steady breath. Taking your time. Release the neck if it feels right. But just make sure to keep the spine extended so we're not rounding here to find more space. We're always extending and lengthening the body. Then we're going to take and we're going to walk these hands over to the left side now so that we can stretch out the right side of the body. And if it feels right, just as you did before, stacking those arms, the right hand on top of the left, kind of opening the shoulder a little bit here. Keep that right sit bone rooted and breathe into the right side of the body. Again, we're moving gently. And we're not forcing the body into any of these asanas, any of these postures. We're really just allowing. And as the space is created, then we'll move into that space. Keeping that beautiful steady breath and that beautiful feeling of gratitude within the body. When you're ready, we'll walk those hands back to center. Engage the core and use that core to assist us as we lift up here. Keeping the legs where they are right now, we're going to take and we're going to come into a twist. So take the left hand to the outside of that right knee. And that right hand, depending on the space you have right now on the spine, you can set that down just at the side of the body. If you have more space, you can actually bring that right hand behind you, behind the body here. The next inhale, when that comes for you, is going to inhale, lift the spine up a little taller. And on the exhale, we're going to engage the core as we twist in a little bit deeper here. Nice steady breath, and just as we said before, we're not forcing here. We're not twisting aggressively and forcing the body into a posture it's not ready for. Feel into your body, listen to your body, know what it needs. And just breathe here. And if you find that the body is creating more space, feel free to move into that space, again, without any force, but with ease. And when your next inhale comes, let's inhale both those hands up to center as the spine comes to face forward again, bringing some length here. One more inhale. We're going to exhale, we're going to twist over to the left, and we're going to bring that right hand to the outside of the knee. This left hand can come to the side, or if you have the space, it can come behind the body. When your next inhale comes, inhale that spine up a little bit taller. And those exhales will engage that core as we twist in a little bit deeper. Again, we are not forcing. We're gentle, we are graceful, we are easeful. Remembering that our practice is a representation of how we show up in our life. We don't want to live a life forcing ourselves into something that doesn't fit, rushing through to get to the next pose, to the next place, to the next moment. We want to be graceful. We want to move with purpose. We want to be present, aligned with our breath in the moment that we are existing in. Grateful for everything that comes, even if it may not look like it's serving us at the time. In the end, it usually is. Continuing to breathe here. And that next inhale, inhales those arms back up to center. And on the exhale, we're going to bring the hands together and pull that energy and those hands down towards the heart. For a moment, we're going to just be here with the breath. Existing in the now. And if those eyes are closed, open those eyes back up. And for a few breaths, we're going to really activate the arms here. So let's take on an inhale and roll the shoulders up and down the back. We're going to press these hands actively into each other so that our arms really engage. And you may be able to tell in this video that difference in the activation here. Keep that spine lifting up. Breathe into those arms. Breathe into your strength. And know, just like this in life, if we just show up fully, presently, if we activate ourselves, activate our strength, we're powerful, we're capable, and we have so much more to offer. The next exhale releases those arms. We're going to take and we're going to switch those legs back one more time here. So returning to where we started. Keeping those sit bones nice and rooted. I'm going to work those arms a little bit. So let's take an inhale, this left arm up. We're going to bend at the elbow, and we're going to take the hand and set it between the shoulder blades at the upper part of the back here. This right hand's going to come to the elbow, and we're going to gently pull down here. Please don't tuck that chin down or lift it up. Keep it nice and steady. You can almost press the back of the skull into the arm and the arm into the skull here. And just breathe. Close the eyes if you want to for a few moments. A nice, steady, life-giving breath. And when you feel your next exhale coming, that exhale is going to exhale those arms straight. Inhale is going to inhale that right arm. Bend at the elbow, bring the palm flat between those shoulders. Bringing that left arm to the elbow of the right. Gently pulling in here a little bit deeper. Same thing, that chin's parallel with the earth below. Can gently press the back of the skull into the arm into the skull here. Make sure that that spine stays nice and extended, so we're not rounding, we're not dropping here, we're lifting. And we're breathing, and we're present in this moment. A nice, steady, life-giving breath. And when that next exhale comes for you, exhale back to that T, and release the arms down. As we take and we extend those legs out long in front of us. Flexing those feet. Make sure those sit bones are still rooted. That spine is nice and extended. When you're ready, inhale those arms up. Lead with the heart in that straight spine, and on an exhale, extend forward. Those hands can fall wherever it feels right for you. Or maybe back on the thighs, on the shins, or on the feet. Really breathing into those hamstrings here. A nice steady breath. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so allow that breath to bring peace and ease into this posture. Again, without the force. I feel like so often in our life we are trying to force something that's not right, or something that we're not ready for. And it is uncomfortable, painful even, and most often it doesn't work. And we end up suffering. We end up hurting. So instead of forcing ourselves into anything, may we listen, may we trust, may we know when the moment is right to move. And when we do move, we move gracefully because we are present and we recognize who we are and what we're capable of. Continuing to breathe here. And just as before, if the body begins to create more space, listen and trust and move into the space that you created. And making sure that that spine stays straight, it stays extending and lengthening. When we find ourselves in a posture, in a position in our life, without movement for an extended period of time, we often relax and we let go and we loosen up. And there's beauty in that. But at the same time, often there is a stagnancy in that. We have to find a way to stay active, to stay present, and to stay peaceful in each moment of our lives. And that's something that yoga teaches us. It teaches us that we are strong, that we are flexible, and if we keep breathing, we can exist in anything. In absolutely anything. And if we breathe, it becomes easier to exist in a place that once felt uncomfortable or new or foreign to us. And when you're ready on an inhale, engage the core to support the spine and use the core to lift back up. And now let's bring the soles of the feet together. So we come into Baddha Konasana here, or a butterfly's pose, or a cobbler's pose. Walk the feet in as close as it feels comfortable. If you want to, you can wrap the fingers around the toes. Inhale that spine up nice and tall. And you can stay here if you wish. Or if you'd like to go deeper in the hips, lead with the heart, with that beautiful extended spine. And on an exhale, whenever it comes for you, you can extend that heart forward. Another beautiful example of how we can be in our lives, leading with our hearts forward. And breathing here. Continuing to stay aware of the spine, lengthening it out long, creating more space. A few more breaths here. When you are ready, on an inhale, engage the core and use that core to lift back up. And take the hands to the outsides of the knees if you want and lift those knees up. And we're going to find our way back to a seat, however that looks for you. Inhaling that spine up nice and tall. Close those eyes. The next inhale inhales the hands to the heart center. And just as we began our practice, returning to that place of stillness and gratitude. Cultivating that gratitude within your being. And remembering that the more often we practice gratitude, the more capable we are of recognizing everything that we have to be grateful for in our lives. If you look, there is always something, there is always a blessing in one form of another that just takes noticing. So take the time to notice. Loka somasta sukhino bhavantu, which means, may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of our lives contribute to the happiness and the freedom of all. And your next inhale is going to inhale those hands up to the third eye center. bringing balance to your point of clarity. The next exhale brings those hands towards the lips. Bringing balance to your words and balance to your truth. And the next exhale brings those hands back to the heart. Bringing balance to your love and balance to your heart. And from this place of balance within me, I recognize, honor, and appreciate the teacher, the light, and the divine within each of you and all things. Namaste. May we remember to carry this practice, this gratitude, this presence, alignment with our breath, through this day and each day to come. Thank you for practicing with me. Mwah.